Macmillan Audio presents The Winds of Dune by Herbert and Kevin Anderson. Read by Scott Brick. It is difficult to be married to an author, more challenging in many ways than the writing task itself. For their sacrifices, for their unconditional love and patience, this book, like others, is dedicated to our remarkable wives, Janet Herbert and Rebecca Moesta Anderson. To the Fremen he is the Messiah, to the vanquished he is the tyrant, to the Bene Gesserit he is the Kwisatz Haderach. But Paul is my son, and always will be, no matter how far he falls. Lady Jessica, Duchess of Caladan. The Emperor Paul Muad'Dib survived a major assassination attempt when a stone burner robbed him of his sight. Though blind, he could see the cracks in his empire, the political stresses and long-festering wounds that threatened to tear his rule apart. Ultimately, he knew, whether through prescience or mentat analysis, that the problems were insurmountable. With his beloved Chani dead in childbirth and his newborn twins helpless, Muad'Dib turned his back on humanity and his children and walked into the desert, leaving the empire to his 16-year-old sister Alia. Thus, he abandoned everything he had worked to create. Even the most careful historian can never know the reason for this. Bronso of Ix, Analysis of History, Muad'Dib. Though he is gone, Muad'Dib never ceases to test us. Who are we to doubt his choices? Wherever he is, in life or death, Muad'Dib continues to watch over his people. That is why we must pray to him for guidance. Princess Irulan, The Legacy of Muad'Dib. Part 1, 10,207 A.G. After the overthrow of Shaddam IV, the reign of Paul Muad'Dib lasted 14 years. He established his new capital in Arrakeen on the sacred desert planet Dune. The Muad'Dib's jihad is over at long last. Conflicts continue to flare up. Paul's mother, the Lady Jessica, has withdrawn from the constant battles and political schemes and returned to the Atreides' ancestral home of Caladan to serve there as Duchess. In my private life on Caladan, I receive few reports of my son's jihad, not because I choose to be ignorant, but because the news is rarely anything I wish to hear. Lady Jessica, Duchess of Caladan. The unscheduled ship loomed in orbit over Caladan, a former Guild highliner pressed into service as a jihad transport. A young boy from the fishing village, apprenticed to the castle as a page, rushed into the garden courtyard. Looking awkward in his formal clothing, he blurted, "It's a military-equipped vessel, my lady. Fully armed." Kneeling beside a rosemary bush, Jessica snipped off fragrant twigs for the kitchens. Here in her private garden she maintained flowers, herbs, and shrubs in a perfect combination of order and chaos, useful flora and pretty pleasantries. In the peace and stillness just after dawn, Jessica liked to work and meditate here, nourishing her plants and uprooting the persistent weeds that tried to ruin the careful balance. Unruffled by the boy's panic, she inhaled deeply of the aromatic evergreen oils released by her touch. Jessica rose to her feet and brushed dirt off her knees. "Have they sent any messages?" "Only that they are dispatching a group of Kissarit emissaries, my lady. They demand to speak with you on an urgent matter." "They demand?" The young man quailed at her expression. "I'm sure they meant it as a request, my lady. After all, would they dare to make demands of the Duchess of Caladan and the mother of Muad'Dib? Still, it must be important news indeed to warrant a vessel like that."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?